expressing our way of me putting myself in your shoe, so that I can understand your situation better. Like usual, right? Usually, I like to start our class with some silent moment. That way, we can collectively bring ourselves back to the present. I know it's difficult sometimes, but it's all about habits. You know, we get to the habits of reflecting, looking back to ourselves. And to be frank with you, all of the doesn't matter what Dharma you learn, it's all about reflecting back within ourselves. The For 45 years, the Buddha been teaching and preaching. It's all about reflecting back to ourselves. So yes, I like to please give me about 10 minutes, so that we can reflect. Find yourself a comfortable position. Collectively, bring back your mind, your awareness to yourself, and we just gonna be in silent for a few minutes. I will start with the gong, with the bell, and we can start. So, like I said, this is the times when you just want to sit and let go of everything, all thoughts, all stress, all awareness, all everything in your mind. Just empty it out, let it go. This is the time where we reflect, we being fully aware of our surrounding, yet do not differentiate. Just being aware of your body. Bring your attention back to your body. Find a point of focus, and just channel that energy, that's awareness, to that point. If not, I often use my senses of hearing. Whatever I'm hearing around my surrounding, I'm just listening, and that's it. I don't try or not to differentiate, and just let any thoughts that arise pass. Let it go. I know thoughts may arise, but try to let it go. Just being aware, just aware of things surrounding you, your awareness, your focus in the present, the now. Any sound, any noise, just let it go. You may open your eyes. Um, um, well, at least today we had about almost 10 minutes of silent, and hopefully silent in your mind as well. I normally the end of the year, I like to recapture what we have been sharing so far. But we only has been together only a few sessions, and we haven't covered much. But I still like today we're gonna stick with our topic, but at the same time, I am open to a few other agenda, a few other topic as well. If you are willing and open up to it. Our topic for today is empathy and the power of empathy. Can anyone help me or tell me what is your idea of empathy? What is your perception when we're talking about empathy? Can anyone? No, everyone is shy. Um, in our class, right? I have a tendency to be informal quite often, so that I can be closer to you. And because to be honest with you, I don't think it's as a formal class, but I think it's as a sharing, as I told you many times before. So don't worry. And I keep saying this over and over again. In Buddhism, there's no absolutely truth and there's no absolutely wrong, right? So you are safe. Doesn't matter what you say. You're absolutely safe. So don't worry. So when we talk about empathy, what comes to your mind?
May I speak?
Yes, please, Catherine.
I thank you, Ty. Um, well, my perception of empathy is that one person they feel what another person feel like. If another person is sad, they can sense that. And they feel sad too. So both of those people they feel sad together. That's I guess to me
Okay,
that is what empathy looks like.
okay, okay. Anyone want to add to that? Anybody? So if someone um, feeling sad, happy, upset, whatever that may be, someone else, if you can feel that or sense it, that's what Catherine think, right? In simple term, and I'm sure all of you may have heard this, and I think it's the simple term, and you may heard it before, but we often think it's too simple, and it's we don't really see the weight or the definition behind it. How about putting yourself in other people's shoe? I'm sure you heard of it, right? To be honest with you, if you have that ability and if you always are often putting yourself or awareing or knowing how other people feel, this world will be heaven. There wouldn't be any war going on. There wouldn't be any conflict. There wouldn't be any disagreement. There wouldn't be, any battle. It's gonna be this world is gonna be a whole lot better if we practice that. And to be honest, the fundamental roots of empathy is also compassion. Once you know other people, how other people feel, like Catherine said, if you are able to aware or knowing how other people feel, obviously, if you aware of how they feel, you put yourself in that people's shoe, right? That's that people's situation. And that's when you can empathize with them, right? You can comprehend and understand their perspective and becoming more tolerant and acceptant with their point of view. In my recent experience with building my the meditation hall here with me, and to be honest with you, sometimes it's little things, but I learned a lot from a small lesson. Most of the people that came here to work for us are Mexican. And to be honest with you, most of them are came here illegally. And I find that out after getting to know them and talk to them. Obviously, I hire a contractor, and the contractor hire these individuals. And I asked him, how long have you been doing these kind of job? And he said he's been doing this for over almost 20 years. And I was curious how they could be coming here illegally and being able to work for so long. And yeah, the information, basically, long story short, they said that they have a system that the cartel people brought them here, that they have to pay a certain price and all these other long-term stuff. But it's a battle. It's a very, very tough situation that they have to deal with in order to stay here. And they only be here for a few years, and then they go back to the country. And then they have to go back here again to work to make money. But every single trip that they do, it's about $10,000 or more every trip. So they only come back to the country once a while. And but I observed his work, this group leader, that the guy that did the carpentry. And I observe his work, and he's very, very meticulous. And to me, I feel that if he's here for just to make money, he doesn't have to be that meticulous. He's very, very good at what he's doing, comparing to my past experience with my past builder. So I tried to get to know him a lot better, and little things, but I learned a lot. He said that I know that I do, everybody work for money, but I do take pride in my work. And he said that even though his main goal was making money, but he said that every nail that he does, he take pride into it. And I can see the difference, to be honest. He's not lying, because I can compare, with the work that he did with my past builder. And I said, so if you take pride into your work for over the past almost 20 years, how many houses have you built? Do you remember? He said, no. He said that every time I go to work, I focus on, making these things or whatever he was building looks good. But as soon as he go home or get out of this job, he doesn't give it no mind. He doesn't pay any attention. And from just a normal worker, and he could have this mentality, which something that to be honest, took me years of practicing that. You see, when I say when I'm telling you this story, and we may often overlook. We think, oh, that's nothing. Oh, that's normal. But to be honest with you, it's a very, very difficult thing. For all of us, even right now, I just heard some of you said you are stressed out with work, with school, with exam, all these other things. Why were you stressed out? Wasn't it because you are looking back or worrying about the upcoming future, right? But if you live in the moment, the now, the very present, as I have you done, sitting silent, without any thoughts, without any worry, because we dedicate this hour together, right? And that's, if we can collectively bring ourselves back to the present within this hour, there shouldn't be any stress at all. Stress does not come into the element. It only happens when we imagining or thinking what happened, what if in the future. Your exam may not doing well, or so many exams coming up, the pressure. But is also because we bring that into ourselves. But if we could practice like this carpenter, he called, this friend, I call him friends, that he said that as soon as he get out of his, drive off, he's not worrying about one bit about my project. And I know was yesterday, he have only a few more days left, and they putting on a temporary roof for me. And I said, oh, wow, you putting on the roof. And that way, we're not worrying about it's coming rain this Sunday. And immediately he responded to me. He say, you are not worried. You are worried, not me. So see, it's even though he does things to his best ability, but he also understands that, as soon as he's get out of his job, he's not worrying about my, the project. So he said, he caught me right there immediately, say, you may be not worrying about the rain this weekend, but not me. You see? So even that, but I'm saying that, and you may think that he's, not doing his job right, or maybe he's just doing it. But it's not. He does everything because I observe him, and he does everything very, very well done, and in his work. And that's why I said that he does, put his mind into the present. So that's why it's a great lesson, even for me, to learn, to put myself into his position. And again, when I said empathy, is that I can feel, his I would call his situation, his difficult situation, where he only see he have a few kids, 2 kids that about your age, actually, and he only communicate with them, on video calls, and he only seen them every 7 or 10 years. And that's all he was able to see them. So I feel, it's for somebody could have doing it for the heck of it, for the job, for the money, but no, he still take pride. And that is something that even I myself learning from an ordinary mundane worker. So if we, that's why in the Buddha house, we have to practice meditation. Reason being is it's going against the normal norm of the society, allowing you to seize the moment, to slow down your mind, your body. First of all, if you sit, obviously you're not limitation for movements. And also, if you reflect yourself, that's with also slowing down your mind, your thoughts. And that's what we need to train our mind. Often in our lifestyle, we are trained and we are taught, especially in school when I was in college as well, that they train you to do multitasking, often, always. But it's being, honestly, it's being not as productive. You may be able to do a couple things multitasking, but to be able to deeply into the issues of the situation, you can never. Multitasking can never, only can reach a certain fundamental surface of any situation that you may be in dealing with. But the only time when you can deeply, and your mind can deeply shine or clear, vivid, is when you are not thinking. And that's why meditation come in place. Has anyone had any experience that you think with that you experience with either your parents or your friends, that you expressing your empathy or to your friends? Does anyone have any experience? Anybody?
May I speak?
Yes, please.
Okay, so yeah, I find myself, I empathize a lot with my friend, and they, let me think. I guess a specific instance is well, so they go to college in a different state now, and I have to understand or put myself in their shoes and understand that they're busier than they were before because they do extracurricular stuff, and they're also trying to make a new social life in that state as well. So I empathize with them whenever I text them, and I understand like, oh, they're probably busy. And they're also like, since it's in a different state too, they have to work hard to apply for scholarships and stuff so they can make up, try to pay, like, since it's in a different state, it's more expensive. So I put myself in their shoes and realize, oh, I know they have this to worry about and that. So that's when I empathize with my friend. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, understanding, right? Anybody else? How about with your parents? Catherine gave an example that she empathized with your friends. How about your parents, your siblings? I'm sure you have been, right? Anybody? Annie? You are shy? I'm sure all of you have, to be honest with you. Even you being here, that have something to do with empathize, right? Some of you may be here willingly. Some of you may be here because your parents want or would like you to be here, right? See? So I know you all practicing it, and we all does. So it's okay to admit to it. But that sometimes don't forget that empathize but you also feel having to accept it. Not only to do it like, okay, my mom wanted me to do this, my dad wanted me to do this, and I'm just doing it, even though I don't feel like doing it. But you should understand, where are they coming from, right? Your parents, where are they coming from? If you, I know it's hard. I know it's right now. I'm over 40 some years old. Then I look back, then I know that, yeah, I should be more empathize with my parents a lot more than I supposed to, or I should. But it's a stage that we all have to go through. We only learn from our mistake, right? But here we are from our experience. Um, I often said, oh, today and age, most kids have a resentful feeling that your parents don't understand you. They are in the history, they in the past. They carry so much tradition that they don't empathize you, right? So empathize work both way. So in today, you may think they're not empathizing you. They're not, putting their um, in your situation, your shoe. But that's not what true empathize is. It's acceptance and forgiveness. It's it being wholly, purely, and morally understand the situation, like Catherine's. She says she understands their friend's situation. They out of state. It's a new place. Everything is new. They have to start from fresh. So it's a lot of things is challenging ahead of them. So she empathized that. She understands that. And therefore she's have, not putting demand or expectation on or pressure on her friends. The same way with you and your parents. If you can understand that with your parents, where they coming from, they don't have the same environment growing up as us, right? We are growing up in the U.S. I grow up, most of my life in the U.S. Most of you are born in the U.S. And your parents, most of them are not, or were not, and they came from a very different tradition and different background and different brought up. So they brought all that knowledge and that culture. They want to impose that on you. But if you hold that resentful on them, then you are not being empathized. I'm not saying that they are right. Okay. I'm not saying that they are right. I'm not saying that all the tradition or the pressure that they're putting on you, or that they want, the demand that they put on you are right. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that once you putting yourself in other people's shoe, you accept their perspective. That's it. Without resentment. And that's it. And you becoming more compassion. You understand, oh, that's where they come from. That's where they were brought up. Then you understand the situation. And in your power, within your limit, you can empathize and do or meet their demand to your best ability. Okay. But I'm not citing any one size here, because I know that in the Vietnamese tradition, some of it is very good. Some of it is very good, but some are not. I have to say, some are not. At the same time, the same culture in the US, some are very good, but some I think is too far. It's just not good. So it's your job to collectively realizing which is best for both. If you feel that some of the tradition in the Vietnamese is good, then you apply that, you keep that. but some it's not, then you don't have to. Same thing with the American tradition. The American tradition, the one thing for example, I think is independence. The kids in the US are so independent. And many of the parents, the Vietnamese parents, you know, pamper or nurture their kids and keeping that Vietnamese tradition very tight, and sometimes not giving you guys room to breathe, because that's the difference in tradition. But the independence have its benefits, but too much also is not good, right? You just blocking everybody out, depending on all yourself. You don't need anyone. You develop your own world. That is too far, okay? But at somewhere in the middle ground, the middle path. You see, so again, this is one of the things I want to capture too. I know I went over with one of the lessons that the Buddha taught us was the middle path, right? One of our class, the middle path, meaning the middle, every extreme is not good. Left or right is not good. The middle path is you can neutralize or you can combine whatever that is to extend and make that your own. That's the middle path. Don't ever lean on either way, and you will find yourself in a difficult situation. So yes, so that's what's one of my example is independence. So your parents' perspective and your perspective in the US are very often in contradiction. I have many parents that came to us and saying that youngster like yourself today have built an invincible wall between parents and between you guys and your parents, and I mean to pinpoint the resolution or the problem is very difficult, because it's like a web. It's there's no beginning. It's all interconnected. But if you can find a common ground and always remember, the one thing that I like you to remember is that your parents' perspective, sometime you may think that is contradicting with you. A lot of time it may seem contradicting with you, but in due times, you will realize that their motive is never to harm you, is never to lead you to the wrong direction. Sometimes it may does. Sometimes you in your mind thinking, Mom, you don't know anything. It's the 21st century. It's a day and age. It's not like your time. We are not in the same world now. But trust me, even with their background and their motive, you in due time will see that it's only to benefit you. Sometimes it will contradicting you at the moment, but keep in mind. So that's why you need to break yourself from that wall, that invincible wall between you and your parents, because even the Buddha have said this, siblings, people that you are born within family is the closest link you ever gonna get in this entire life. So your siblings, your parents, is the closest link. You may think down along the road, you may build a family of your own. Yes, that would be your next closest kin, your closest family. But the blood, the closest link you ever gonna touch is your siblings, your parents, or your family, your immediate family. So yes, and that's what we need to. But since we are the closest, then why are we building up a wall, right? Why are we building a wall if we are the closest link? So that wall that some of you may have is you need to take that down. One of the topic that I want to tie it in here is also that some parents want me to mention too is karma, or the law of cause and effect, because it does have to do with your connection with your parents. Can anyone give me your perspective? And I know we covered this in the Buddha house. Many of you may have heard it repeatedly about the law of cause and effect, or karma. Can anyone give me an example? And I think we touched on this topic a while back too. It's very important. In the Vietnamese, it would be called nhân quả, and in the English, it would be cause and effect, or karma. The Latin, the Pali or Sanskrit, which would be karma. Can anyone give me their point of view? Anyone?
I'll go.
Yes, thank you, Danny. Oh wait, Brandon. Yes, hi, Brandon.
Brandon, yes.
Yeah, so I think you said just give you an example, or
Yes. What any example that come to your mind, or your understanding of cause and effect?
so I'll start off with I guess negative. So
Okay.
a really big thing for karma, or a really large cause and effect is, let's say you kill someone, right? Or you kill an animal. A cause and effect animal, then your life will be taken as well. Because if you have the ability to take another being's life, right, then you should be able to have your life taken away too. So I guess that's a negative way, like bad karma. So I think in the Buddha house, that's why we try to avoid killing even insects, right? One small animal. Okay. I mean, they too are animals. I guess a good one would be, let's say you volunteer, and you often volunteer at charity, right, at an organization that helps and volunteers people that are homeless, right? Let's say like at a gosh, I forgot, like at a food bank. Give you good karma because you're trying to help someone. In return, I guess you can attain blessings, or maybe you have a good life. That's also with reincarnation, right? You reincarnate as a human. That means you've had good karma in the past, and you reincarnate, I don't know, like a rat or something, then you've had bad karma in the past. So
okay, thank you, Brandon. Anybody else?
Excuse me. I think karma, it
It's
can manifest through the small actions we do every day as well. Like if I lie to someone, and I think inevitably something bad will happen to me. And if I just, let's say if I help like a stranger walk down the street, I mean, then possibly something good will happen to me. Um, I think that is, I guess, my perception or my thoughts on how
Mhm.
karma can look.
Okay. Anybody else? It's a very it's a very important topic in the Buddha house, because like Catherine just mentioned, um, it's a manifestation of everyday life. It's all about karma, and I like the way she put that, because it's a it's manifest in our daily life. That everything revolve, every single little things evolve, had to do with cause and effect. You want to be good in your exam. What was the cause? Study, right? Preparation. The effect is the exam. We better the result. You want to eat some decent food? Preparation. I mean, it's all, our life is all evolved in the law of cause and effect. I have somebody mentioned to us was that parents wanted their kids to do well in school, right? And the parents pushes the kids, this youngster, to do well. The argument that we see that the kids said was, Mom, today and age, you don't have to have a good degree, a good college degree, to be successful. Look at Steve Jobs. Look at Bill Gates. Look at many of these billionaire people that are dropped out college, but yet still very successful. What do you say to that? What happened to law of cause and effect? That way we all should just not getting a degree, right? We've forgotten so many factor in here. First of all, how many people in this billions of people in this whole entire world that are like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, or many other dropout college successful? There aren't many, right? We forgot that fact, that they are holding a very small percentage of the population. Secondly, in the Buddha perspective, we don't know what kind of merits, what kind of karma would happened with this individual in their past life. They may have inherited some, good deeds that's what they are receiving, the fruitful result for this life. So if in fact we say, oh, we don't need to have such and such degree to be successful, only when you have the ability like they do, then you can say that. But right now, we are not. We are all majority. The majority, 99% of the population are not like that, right? Then we have to go through the same channel, which is schooling. Again, with very realistic karma, like Catherine also said, in this not only in this life, and also Brandon also brought this up too, is like they understand that karma does not only affect this life, this present. Laws of cause and effect must apply in 3 time frames. I think I mentioned this before. Past, present, and future. That's how the laws of cause and effect works. Is most people think, okay, today I like Brendan say, you kill a rat or a mice, then you will eventually pay for your sin or your bad deed. Today world, some people have committed crime, but they got away with it for years until they get the sentences. So we have to understand that the law of cause and effect must involve in 3 periods of time. And that's when we can explain why some of these billionaire, some of these great people are able to be successful, their merits, their deeds, because they have accumulated this in their past life. Their knowledge, they accumulated in some of their past life. That's why right now they were able to receive that fruitful results. So if you want to be like them, trust me, cultivate right now, cultivate in this life. And nothing is more realistic than the fundamental fact is education lead to successing a successful life. But one key element in this life that you also must understand is all of these billionaire. One thing that they do have, can anyone tell me? The one key element that most of them have, like Steve Jobs or Bill Gates.
Intellect.
That's why, I'm sorry?
Would it be intellect?
Insolent. Okay.
Intellect. Like there's
Intellect. Oh, intellect. Intellectual. Okay, yes. I take that.
Money.
Money. Absolutely. Yes, that's something they definitely have the abundance than most people. But trust me, if they don't have this, all of the money could not be spent.
Connections?
I'm sorry?
Like connections?
Connections. Okay. Anybody else? Connection. Okay. How about morality? Moral. If you think about it, if all of these individuals inherit all of these money, all of this power, but they don't have the power, if they don't have the moral, like Brandon's close enough saying intellectual, if you don't have moral, which is the roots of controlling all of this money, you wouldn't be able to spend it. You would have put it into bad use. You would have put it into a bad, action. And you would ultimately destroy your life very, very quickly, right? With all the money, they can buy a whole islands and they can do all of these bad things. All money is power. But to be honest, all of these, if you read about their lives, they all have intellectual and which is moral, which is a very, very crucial elements to all of you. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how wise you are, but your morality. the Vietnamese term would be called đạo đức. That is what we need in our life. It's morality. And trust me, any power, any possession that you may think that you possess today, even knowledge without morality, still a terrible thing, right? I captured this I gave you the example with Hitler before, that somebody who is very, very intelligent, but yet he just doesn't have that morality, moral. And that's what we need to practice. So yes, again, morality also tied in with what we talk about today is empathy, right? Because you are a good individual, you put yourself into other people's shoes, there shouldn't be any war, there shouldn't be any conflict, right? You have the morality, the power, the compassion, the good deed, the merits, to understand other people, to accept other people. But yes, Annie's right. You have to have connection to spend the money. But yes, that's the physical form of it, right? That's definitely the physical form in spending the money. But he used his connection in a good way, right? So that's morality. He does have to have connection, but he also had a good connection, meaning he uses as his good, the benefit for many people. And that's why they was able to sustain their monetary for such a period of time. We have 15 minutes. So, but yes, the last 15 minutes, I like to I know that in our master geisha what is his name?
Pende. Yeah.
Bente. Yes, some of his lecture that I heard that he mentioned he go tied up with very, very close with Buddhism, and obviously the law of cause and effect in our life too. One of the story that I want to share with you, and that is why I'm also very careful, but obviously sometimes I'm only human. I do still make mistakes. The story that I learned that keep in the back of my mind often is a story in the Buddha house often told. There's one of these master, a very, very good Zen master that is very good at giving out lecture or talks or summons. He's everybody come to him for question. So one day, one of this individual came and asked him, okay, an enlightenment being, which is somebody, an awakened, somebody already awakened, an awakened being, like the Buddha, can that individual be still under the influence of the law of cause and effect? Okay, let me read that question again. Can somebody who is awakened or enlightenment or awakened like the Buddha be still under the influence of the law of cause and effect? And this individual do you think what he said? What do you think? And I will tell you what he said. What do you think? So somebody who is awakened, like the Buddha, can that individual be still under the influence, meaning effect, by the law of cause and effect? Can anyone?
I think so.
Annie said no, because he or she already awakened, right? Alignment being. So Annie said no. Anybody else? Agreed?
Any or Ben, do you have any?
Who? Ben? I see.
Ben, you can have.
Oh, is that? I see Andy too. Anybody else? So somebody is awakened or enlightenment, like the Buddha. So Annie basically think the Buddha is free from the law of cause and effect. Anybody want to take a guess? Like Annie, the Zen master said, no. An awakened being is free from the laws of cause and effect. And guess what happened?
Was he wrong?
He was reincarnated to be a fox for 500 lifetime of being reincarnated as a fox. Can anyone tell me? So I'm sure that would be wrong, right? Because he got reincarnated. Just for saying that, he got reincarnated. Before I give you the answer, I'll tell you a story about the Buddha. And I think I may have told you this story before. Oh yeah, in the Buddha, and in if somebody read about the history of the Buddha, this is in real life. When during his time in the 80 years that he walked the earth, he was living. Did you know that he got hurt? Did anybody read about that part? That his disciple hurt him once. He basically rolled a rock, that the chip of the rock basically hurt his legs. That's one. There was one time that in a summer retreat for 3 months, he had nothing to eat but basically horses grain, the grain that they use for horses. That's two. Also another incident in his past life, in his last life, he had a very, very migraine headaches. And I think I told you about this too. And why did he have that migraine headaches? Which is years and years ago when he was a kid, he basically took a stick and poke on a fish one time. This is the story that he told. Looking back after being awakened, he had the ability of looking back his past life, and that's what he saw, that he did that. He took a stick and poke on a fish, and the results in his last life as the Buddha holding the human being life, he have a very migraine headaches, and that's what his karma. So as awakened being, he was still being affected by the laws of cause and effect. So you can see the laws of cause and effect goes a very, very deep way. Back to our story of the fox the Zen monk that reincarnated into a fox. And for many, many lives, this fox, because he did practice, the Dharma way very well, so he still have that good karma. And he also listening to this Zen master for many, many years. And this fox listened to this another Zen master in his reincarnation life. And one time he basically came to this Zen master and begged the Zen master to free him from his fox reincarnation life. And this Zen master said, why did you reincarnate, or how did you reincarnate into a fox life? And this is how he told his situation. So the Zen master said, okay, why don't you ask me that same question? So the fox said, okay, so an awakened being, can that individual still be affected or under the influence of the law of cause and effect? The Zen master answer was, I am not an awakened being, should never be mistaken, of the law of cause and effect. So he said that an awakened being never mistaken, meaning, he don't overlook it, meaning understand it, go in three direction, three time frame. Doesn't matter past, present, or future. You should never be mistaken of that law. And by this answer, the fox understood his, his answer, and basically the fox died and reincarnated into a human being again, and keep practicing until he reached enlightenment. This is one of the story that in the Buddha house that often told. Again, like I said, I don't know much of this is in fairy tale, but to be honest, I take it as a story, a lesson where I can really apply it into the reality. And my reality today is, like Brandon and Catherine said, is what you're doing today is manifest every word that you said. Catherine also said that too. Everything you said, a lies, a small lies, a little bit, every word that you said, carry that with you in your past or present and future. And it will affect you. And it's manifest in every moment. So be careful. Be careful what our actions, be careful of our talking, our language. But most importantly, if you keep your morality, again, this fox still have his morality. That's why he was able to keep his accumulate his merit and able to meet the other Zen master to free him from his reincarnation fox life. And that is why we often, or we should, always putting ourselves in other people's shoes. Then we will never have any conflict, and life will be at peace within yourself and other people. I think we have a few minutes left. I like to leave this for Q&A, for question and answer, because this is our last class for these the whole year, and I won't be seeing you for the next couple months because I'm finishing up our projects here, and I'm quite busy with other activities, and I apologize. But I will resume our meeting with you, and I hope to see all of you again in our next couple months. Once again, I truly, well, let's have Q&A first, and then we'll sum it up. Any question and answer? Because if you kind of, please give me feedback, because sometimes I think my talks help you, but that again, that's in me. I don't know if it's have any weight or effect or influence on you, or it benefit you or not. So please help. That way I know that I'm doing the right things. Sometimes, like I said, I'm only speaking from my experience, and that's my sharing with you. And sometimes I'm giving you the wrong dose of medication, and sometimes it's not good. So please, anybody's question, answer, inputs?
How's your day?
Thank you, Annie. Anybody?
Có thầy con think they are all stressed out. I think at the beginning we just want to describe ourselves, and I think content thầy already mentioned like things like that in advance, something like that. But and live in the moment, so not to be stressed out. So I think maybe thầy, in few minutes, just thầy would go quickly, like the quick, like in here they a lot of time they have a quick fix or something like that. So like last minute advice for the students here for the how to cope with that stress this week.
Sometime, to be honest, if you look back, sometime the journey, the process of thinking about the journey is more tiresome than the journey itself. Do you know what I mean? A lot of times we often think of our problem ahead. My exam, oh my God, all this pressure, all this thing that I had to do, all this work. That thinking is more tiresome than the actual work itself. And to be honest with you, it's our bad habit. We all does it. Is that we often think about it more or imagine it more than it actually is. So for my advice is just to do it one thing at a time. I mean, that there's no way around it. I know I have 20. I mean, I can sympathize with you because I've been to college, and I know how exam cramped in and trying to meet that GPA and it's very, very pressure. But to be honest, it's just one. Put everything aside. Whatever is most critical, important to you first, just do that. Just that. And after you clear that out, moving on to the next one. That's the only way. That is also living with the now, the present. There is no other ways, to be honest. You cannot doing, 2 essay or writing, solving 2 math problem at once. We can never. Solving a math problem or writing an essay require you to do one thing at a time. The same thing with your topic. So again, because you stressed out because you say you have 2 or 3 exams coming up and the holidays is coming up as well. That's, all these thinking, all these thoughts, that's what make you stretching out. Again, because of the flow, the environment surrounding you. Your friends also stressed out and they passing on that negative vibes to you, that energy, that negative energy. So be, collectively present and saying, this is due first, this subject or this exam first, focusing on that, prepare for that, preparation for that. And after that, move on to the next one. There is no, it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time to worry about things that may not come. So to me, again, I learned the exact same thing from this story from that individual work, the Mexican friend that does work. He said the same thing. Very simple thing, but so critical. He just does that. After you get out of there, there's no stress. He doesn't have stress. The same thing with you is focusing on one thing at a time and do that the best of your ability, and that's it. After that, move on to the next one. How about that?
Hope it helps everyone as well. I think everyone, I think this is the last class for this year, so maybe we just stay in few more minutes extra time, okay? So I think maybe we just do similar like we did to Geshe-la. Each of us, we just say a few words to thanks Thich for his time and his dedication for this class, especially with the construction going on, and he's spent a lot of time for us. So I think we just go around the room for everyone to say a few words to Thich, okay? Annie, can go first, Annie. As always.
Thank you for oh, sorry, let me get my words together. Thank you for lecturing us and taking a time out of your day to like just like be here and like teach us about all this Dharma stuff because we really appreciate it. We know you're busy and with other stuff that you had to work on, and thank you.
Catherine.
Oh yes.
Okay, hold on, everyone. So before we say to Thich, we just put our palm together, right? And just out to Thich first before the gong say to Thich. And if you can turn on your camera, it would be great. But if not, that's fine as well. But yes, thank you. Catherine, go, Gong.
Yes, go. I will. Thank you, Thich, very much for committing your time and your experience and giving us great lessons about with Buddhism and I guess giving us an enriching experience and making us see Buddhism in a different light and how we can use that for in our own personal lives.
Brendan, Gong.
So for me,
You can put your palms together.
similar to what I said, but yeah, I greatly appreciate it because in my personal life, it's very hard to come across a, I guess, more devoted Buddhist community, especially a Vietnamese one. Particularly where I live, it's very, very southern, right? There's a lot of white people, right? So the community is very small. So really, I really appreciate that you take your time out your day to, teach your wisdom, because it's really hard to come across living in such a specific area where there's not a lot of Asian people, and especially people. So that's one of my thanks. And another thanks is that I also appreciate that you're able to teach bilingually, right? If it was, I would try to understand, but obviously English being my first language, I greatly appreciate that you're able to express it in a more, I guess, a comfortable language. But overall, again, I appreciate it. So, yeah.
Lam con.
Yeah, Kai, I just want to say thank you for your time. I think time is like the most important thing nowadays because even as a college student, I'm finding it very difficult to join like, every Saturday. But for you to be able to lecture and prepare everything for us, I really appreciate that. And also, like Brendan said, English helps a lot. But yeah, so thank you so much for taking us on this journey with you. Well, come on, Kai.
Danny con. Danny. Danny,
Yeah,
are you there?
say Benny or
Yeah, so okay, go ahead, Ben.
okay.
Ben.
Mofak Tai, I just want to say thank you for your lecture. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And like Brennan said as well, saying it in English is very helpful. It's like easy for us to comprehend and understand, which is really rare. So I just want to say we appreciate that.
Danny, are you back? I think the parents, anyone want to say anything? Em? Go ahead.
I can feel that you all are grateful, and to be honest, I am very grateful that you are here. I don't know if I just hope that you can give me I like an idea of how I can proceed my sharing, my Buddhism sharing in our future class, or you think that what we've been doing is okay? Can anyone help me a little bit with that? Or what do you like to see or hear, or topics in any way in the next, in our next meeting, so that I can be in back in the Buddha times, right? Many monks are saint. They are harats. Harat is somebody who's awakened, and they have the ability to read people's minds, and they can see where you stuck at. For me, I'm far from it. I can't read anybody's mind. I'm busy reading my mind. So I don't have that ability. So I want to see if anything I can help you better. Any topic, or you think that what we've been doing is okay?
Để làm con. Để làm maybe con can.
Yeah, Kung Thai Mecca topics, Wanang Hap, I think it was very relevant because we talk about stress and parental stress and family matters. I think that's really important. What we've been covering so far. So I don't have any, concerns.
Ben, con have any feedback, Ben? Like Benny? Benny, not Danny, Ben. Ben.
No, I have no feedback.
And it's easy going.
Yeah, no, I have no feedback. I think everything is good. Pretty well said.
Brandon, anything?
Like my thoughts on the class.
Yes, any maybe like I'm thinking, let me put it this way. They ask for big feedback, but maybe like something maybe you all would like to, like a topic that you would like us to address in the future or something like that, right? Or anything we should do more or less, thing like that. So far.
No, not really. I like the lesson. Maybe have you teach a bit more throughout the whole year.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said
Maybe.
maybe have Thai teach throughout the whole year instead of just like that.
Oh, thank you, Brandon.
Sometimes if you eat anything that you eat and too much of it, you get bored, right? And to be honest, I feel the same way. If you have too much of me, it will get bored. And that's just our human nature. But on, beside our class, that hopefully we can organize some actual, in the summer camp, Buddhist camp, that you may have the time to come here, a few days or however your schedule permit. And that's maybe we have more activities and more Buddhist sharing. But right now my commitment, because sometimes I don't want to for me, promise less and deliver more. I prefer that, rather than, I give you, yes, I'll take all the responsibility, the classes, but then again, I cancel all the class because I'm so busy. So to me, I think a solid, a once a month is what I can commit to at the moment. But I'm grateful you wanted, more of the class, and that's how we can arrange it, is to have some summer camp.
Yeah, most of
Maybe
may I speak?
Catherine, you haven't. Sorry, okay, go ahead, Ben Nhung. Go ahead.
And Mô Phạm con kính chào thầy. Hi everyone.
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much for having this class. And I have seen that in this class I learned a lot from the perspective, the struggle, the stress from our children. And if that would be great if in the future could you help like bringing the daily life stress, and we know the problem, and we know how we know the way, let's see how we put it. We know the problem, but can we relate this problem, trying to solve the problem with the Buddhist perspective, so that maybe we can deal the problem or solve the problem in a deeper level, so that we can help to manage our negative emotion in a deeper way. So I would think that'd be more helpful for my personal experience, and also maybe for our college student here, because we know daily life, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of problem. We recognize that, but how can we solve the problem in the perspective of Buddhist way? So I know Buddhist, we have a lot of psychology talking about emotion, and I would like to learn more in deeper level of the Buddhist emotion. How can we recognize the problem? How can we encounter that, and how can we apply into the practice, into the meditation, so we can encounter the situation in a deeper level? So that's I really appreciate, look forward in the future to learn that. And I thank you so much, Thầy, for spending time, and hope to see you more in the future. to give us more lessons.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I will definitely keep that in mind. Thank you for the inputs, and we will hopefully address that issues in the near future sharing.
Thank you so much, Thầy. Yeah.
So I think now it's my turn.
Yes.
Um,
I think Cô Xuân Lê want to say something.
Ok, Xuân em
Dạ
go
chị
ahead.
Mai Hà, chị Mai Hà trước.
Dạ.
Dạ.
Em go trước đi, em go trước đi chị.
Dạ.
Wrap up.
A Di Đà Phật, con thưa thầy. Yes,
Yeah.
I would like to take opportunity to say thank you for your kindness, for your love, for your time. Yeah, for teaching us and guide us. Even though this lasts for the young adults, but for me it's very meaningful and very interesting for me. I am very fortunate to have you as our teacher. That I will always love and appreciate it. I would like to wish you have a good health, long life, and a good unit of samsara. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Con đánh lễ thầy. Con cũng yeah, I just would like to share a few words. Like I really appreciate Thầy for everything that he do for us here. And I know that we all know that Thầy is really busy with the construction. This is a lot of work. It's not just it sounds simple, just construction, but it's a lot of work involved for Thầy. But Thầy us so on those valuable lessons. And I am here. Actually, this class is for young adult and college student, but I have my kids. My kids are at your guys' age as well. So I learn a lot from this as well, from your own perspective, and also I'm as a parent, I can see both sides and learn and apply what Thầy been teaching us here as well. One thing that I think from the last class, at the end of the class, that Geshe-la and also now with Thầy also mentioned that I think I would like to take that with me, myself, and hopefully you all take with yours as well, because that we all learn and we have knowledge, and we learn, go to school, go to college, or work, or we learn every day for knowledge. But I think knowledge alone is not enough. We have to have a good heart and also empathy, like Thầy as well. So I just would like us to bring that whatever the teaching that Thầy and Geshe-la has been teaching us in this class, along with our journey, and keep practicing this, right? Not just learn in the class and get out that and that's it. No, I think we need to. Sometimes we just need to recollect and just feel quiet time and think back what we learned from the class, and we keep practicing it. And so whenever we have some issues or things like that, that is when we can use that what the learning to apply in those situations. So I can really appreciate Thầy and thank you so much for Thầy for teaching us in this. But also and also for the students, I really appreciate you all, because this is like the first class, the first series, and you all been with us along. And without you all, we don't have this class. And I think not only this for các con, but also for the future, right? So hopefully all can spread out the word, and then we can have more people to like for the teaching to reach out to more younger people like you all. So hopefully we'll see something more in January. Thầy will be busy. So I think January and February maybe Thầy cannot join us, but after that Thầy can join. At the same time, we're going to have some guest speaker, guest teacher help us during the time that Thầy.
Well, Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I meant that from the bottom of my heart. Is that I feel that you all are our future. I mean, I was asked to give talks to an adult in Vietnamese in many places, but I always refuse. And I think because you are all the generation where you are in the bridging of the Vietnamese culture and the American culture, and you hold that bridge, and I think it's crucial. It's unfortunate that we don't have that many teacher that are bilingual that can share that or empathize that with all of you, and I'm very grateful that I was able to have this opportunity, and you giving me your precious time. So once again, yes, thank you, and I will do my best. And my dedication, my devotion is basically, my goal is just for the young adult like yourself, because I think it's important. In a few years, our parents won't be around. I mean, they are the other generation. They're getting old, and you are the next one, the king in line. So I'm very grateful to be, to have all of you here and giving me your precious time. I wish you all health in this holiday seasons. I know this holiday is tied up with so many activities, but stay healthy. And don't forget, it's always seize the moment, live with the moment. Slow down and live with the moment, and that's when you see every door is open, clear, rather than if you try to run up with times, it's kind of caught up with you. So just slow down and live the moment, and you will see, appreciate everything more. I wish the Buddha bless you all. May you all have a healthy holidays. And best of all, be good to you, yourself, and your loved ones. Thank you, and Buddha bless you. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. I will go by.
Bye everyone.
Thank you, thầy.
Love you all.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a
Happy
good
holidays.
Thank
day.
you.
Yes. Okay, come on. Okay, bye.
Thank you, chị Mai Hà.
Oh.
Thank you for
Yeah,
organizing.
thank you em.
Yeah, very good last
See
year.
you.
Yeah.
See you next year.
Yeah, see you next year chị. Em bye chị
Okay,
nha, giờ
bye
em đi
em.
làm.
Bye.
Dạ.
Bye.
Bye chị. Dạ cảm ơn chị nhiều. Dạ.